What's up, everybody, and welcome to the second round of the Box Out Boys podcast. We are the NBA podcast of the people.
Nice.
Your home for lukewarm takes and substandard analysis. I'm Titus, 2 Shots Dominguez, and with me tonight, it's Chris, the Stats Man Gorman. Hit him with the stats, Chris.
Hey. All right, guys. Out of the 8 teams left in the playoffs, only 6 regular starters are aged 30 or older. In Pascal Siakam, Drew Holiday, KCP, Gobert, and Conley. The future is now, old man, is the quote.
The future is now.
Dang.
Wow. It is. This, more than any other year, has felt like the passing of the torch. Also, passing that torch, it's the long ball, Joe Makrowski. Get that, Joe.
I'm about to cross that mid-30 bridge here.
Wow.
I feel it, man.
You guys are young.
Yeah, it's coming up for you.
I feel it.
Also, there are no All-Stars in their 30s left in the playoffs. I don't know. It's just
go ahead.
The guys that listed were All-Stars, but anyways.
Just rub it in.
Robert.
Everybody, it's a young man's game. Basketball is a young man's game. We're finding that out.
22-year-olds.
22-year-olds are annihilating previous champions. It's topsy-turvy. Like I said, this is the second round. We are getting right into the second round of the playoff match. We got a few things for you tonight. Mostly it's just going to be second round talk. Early thoughts on most series are at 2 games in, or the second game is tonight in the case of the Celtics, Cavs, and Thunder, Mavs. 2 series are 2-0. 1 sort of expected, 1 not, we might say. And then I've got a fun top 5 thing for you guys at the end. So we'll get into that. But you know what? Let's just start with the meat and potatoes tonight. Chris, your Timberwolves, your Minnesota Timberwolves are up 2-0 on the defending champion Denver Nuggets. Wild won. They're up after, on the road against Denver. And then in game 2 was an absolute beatdown. What are your thoughts here as a fan? What are your thoughts going forward in the thing? And then we'll kind of go to me and Joy and see our thoughts. Maybe more rational thoughts. But go ahead.
First, I just want to, welcome Romeo Gobert into the world, not naming his son Charles. I think it was a smart move. I don't think I saw that interview with Gobert with Charles.
Like this is not the meat and potatoes of the.
Did you? I'm gonna get to it, but I need to start with this. But Charles asked him, "Do you ever think of the name Charles?" And Rudy's like, "I usually like to name my kids after people I like." Before quickly backtracking on that, but he doesn't like Charles Barkley. Charles didn't like the trade. Nobody liked this trade. But guess what, guys? This trade worked, and it's been the best trade. Is the reason why the Timberwolves are.
I mean, I don't know. The best game was when Gobert missed, but all right. But I guess the trade worked.
80 points. This was literally. All right, guys. When the Bulls won in the 90s, I was 1-year-old, 2, 3, and then 6, 7, 8. I remember being at the games when I was 8 years old, but I didn't really ever experience it. I feel like what I'm watching right now is kind of like
this is your championship.
The 91 version.
This is 91.
Of what we had in the.
Are
90s.
We comparing Ant to Jordan?
Wow, it's the beginning of a dynasty.
Every single time people are like talking about Ant to Jordan, they're like,
hits.
well, he's not really. Even Ant's like, no, I'm not Jordan, and then he'll shrug after hitting the 3, right?
Yeah,
it's Ant's doing things at 22 that LeBron couldn't learn until he went to Miami with all these post moves, or the post spins that he's doing with these. It's insane. It's unbelievable how skillful Ant is on the offensive end of the floor.
He's gushing, folks. He's gushing over
the Minnesota Timberwolves. The craziest thing about this team is that their offensive efficiency in the playoffs has gone up significantly. I think 6. I didn't have it in front of me.
They're the number 1 offensive team in the playoffs.
Or 6 points.
Yeah.
And their defense is still top 4. I don't know. The Thunder are number 1, but they're not playing anybody. We'll get to that. The point is the Timberwolves are doing exactly what I thought, or actually, beyond what I thought. But at least
exactly.
It was last week was saying, like, I think they could really win this, guys. And seeing them knock the socks off of this team and kind of everyone turn on the Nuggets. Like, do people still think Jokic's shtick of not liking, winning MVP for the 3rd time? He's just kind of like, woo.
I got some
thoughts.
Are
we still
on this.
it's kind of fun? I think it's going to turn
Jokic.
pretty quick if they lose. So, man, I have a lot to say, but let's go. Let's move on. Yeah, what do you guys? How are you guys feeling about with this series?
How are you feeling about this series?
I saw a tweet that I wanted to share, and Chris, you probably already know this, but so the general manager for the Timberwolves, right, used to be the GM for the Nuggets.
Yeah, Tim Connolly.
Yeah. So when Tim Connolly, when he was in Denver, he drafted Rudy Gobert and ended up trading him to Utah.
Ooh,
he drafted Jokic.
I forgot. Yeah.
He hired Mike Malone. He drafted Jamal Murray. He drafted Michael Porter Jr. and he traded for Aaron Gordon. So he created
pretty good record.
Created that team, right? And then he went to Minnesota, traded for Rudy Gobert, traded for Mike Conley, traded for Nickeil Alexander Walker, and traded for Monte Morris. So he's literally created almost both of these teams, but in reality, he created the perfect like anti-Nuggets team in Minnesota, right? By bringing Walker over, who's been a surprise, I guess. I mean, I don't want to say like a full surprise, but playing much better, I think, than you probably would have expected from him. Rudy's obviously been Rudy, but there's been this kind of sense of calm from Mike Conley, right? He's just kind of like he's there. He's kind of like the level-headed dude of the group. He's the Titus of the Timberwolves, keeping everybody in check.
I feel like I'm Ant, but it's fine.
That's not even close. You are the most opposite of him possible. Ant is Chris, like on a night out on the town.
True.
I feel like Chris is more like Karl Anthony Towns.
Sports
like,
world.
Yeah, he's a cat. He's a cat for sure.
Chris is a cat. He's gonna shoot threes.
I'm definitely.
He's gonna play the post. He's gonna get some stupid fouls and get really frustrated about it. I don't know.
Real quick, I relate with Cat a lot. The thing with Cat is that he's 6 foot. He's 7 feet tall, but in his mind, he's 6 feet tall. Like I realize I always forget how big I am when I'm with other people until I see pictures. I'm like, I am a giant man.
Who is that giant man?
I feel like Cat's the same way.
We never forget that you're a giant man, Chris.
Yes, we have all felt
that is not lost on any of us around.
But,
but no, Minnesota has just been their calling card has been the defense. They have risen to that. They are not shying away from it. They are going into positions to just absolutely frustrate the hell out of the Nuggets. They have zero concern about getting called for fouls. Like they're just like, hey, we're here and we're going to make this absolutely miserable for you, which is really interesting to see, right? Because we don't see a lot of that from NBA teams. Even, right, defense is always kind of weaker in the regular season. But I can't think of the last time that we saw a defensive effort like this in the playoffs. It seems like this is kind of a
it's Pistons-esque.
Pistons is the comp.
Yeah,
I kind of
but with like a better offense and a better overall player, like
it's like an organized defense though. Like it's aggressive, but it's not just like there's one guy who's kind of like a bully out there. Like they're doing it in these, good double teams, picking up guys full court. It's just they look locked in, they look well coached, even with their coach being sitting on the bench with his leg up. Like
dude had major surgery.
It's wild.
You're supposed to be laying down in a bed. Like
I thought. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. We were going to the series. I thought that might be an issue. Like if there's a delay in like some of the calls or things just get misinterpreted, I thought that might be an issue going up against this team. But nothing.
It's like they have two coaches. It's like they've got one guy is walking around, and the other guy's feeding them the information on a regular basis. It's just like
I know Micah Nori is the assistant that's been the standing guy now. He should be a head coach. Next season.
He's probably going to get a job.
He probably will be after this, right? Yeah.
Maybe got Suns is open, Lakers is open.
Charlotte, like maybe he doesn't want to go to Charlotte though. But
I think Charlotte just signed a coach today.
Did they?
Yeah, I've never heard of the guy, so it's good. I think it's like a Celtics assistant or something. But anyways.
yeah. So I mean, where I was with the series. So after game one, I mean, I was obviously impressed by Minnesota, but I felt like there were some things that Denver did. I was like, look, they still got some open shots within the rhythm of their offense. They just didn't go down. Are they going to be as frustrated by, is Ant going to score, that amount of points? Everything was kind of going on. I felt like there was some things Denver could kind of clean up in game two. And my outlook going into game two was basically, hey, if Minnesota keeps this close and loses a tight one, I think they've done enough, and I'm gonna kind of change and like them in the series. If Denver blows them out, I think we know, kind of game one was maybe a little bit fluky, but in fact, that was not the case. Minnesota comes in and does what they do, and now I think I texted you guys halfway through the second quarter or something, where I was like, I think this is over here.
It's Jover.
It's Jover.
You went to bed.
I went to bed. I mean, I thought the game was over, obviously, but honestly, I think the series is over. I don't think that the Denver's getting off the mat here. Game 3 is obviously going to be the series, basically.
What is more likely to you guys? This ends in 4 or ends in 6?
I still think it could go. I think it's 5. I think Denver might get this next one. But here's kind of where I'm at with this next one. I think if Denver gets a close win, I think that's okay for Minnesota. Like Denver punches back, and then Minnesota goes and gets the next 2. I think if Denver's got to completely blow them out and got to like reset the series and go, hey, we're still the champs. Cool first 2 games. If they don't do that in game 3, short of that in game 3, even if they win by 10 or 5, whatever it is. If I don't see just a complete domination from them, I think that this is going to go to Minnesota, whether it's 5 or 6 games. But I think it's 5 games.
Joey, what do you think?
I think it's 4. I think it's done.
Ooh, yeah,
I think
it might be.
The way I kind of think about it is like Anthony Edwards has to exert such a little effort on defense because the guys that are playing the aggressive defense are not the ones who have to carry the load on the offensive side, right? But for the Nuggets, the guys that are getting harassed and are having to exert all the effort on offense, which aren't the Nuggets aren't a great defensive team. Like they're solid, but the effort that they're having to put in on the offensive side and then have to try to turn it around on a guy who is just fresh and downhill like Anthony Edwards, like it just doesn't seem like there's going to be that give. And I guess the only way maybe is Anthony Edwards has a bad game, but he's not taking bad shots right now, right? He's not having bad efficiency. He's not just shooting shots and he's having good scoring numbers, but everything's coming within, it's in rhythm. There you go. Thank you. It's controlled. And it just seems like the roles that they have are falling into place really well, where they've disrupted everything that Denver has to do, right? They have completely jacked up the game plan. They've gotten in their heads and yes, there's a 3-day break here. But I feel like it's going to come out it's at home. The same kind of thing is going to be right. That place is going to be going nuts. Anthony Edwards going to be feeding off of that. It just seems like there's a much better game plan that actually can come to fruition, where Denver is going to have to hope for everything to fall perfectly. The Timberwolves seems like they can will themselves into something if they're not getting what they want, but Denver is desperate, and desperate teams don't often find themselves doing the smartest things. When your back's against the wall.
I think the other thing that could maybe change the series is the officiating. And this that maybe could
sucks,
be,
but
and I completely agree. I think it would suck. I think it would be kind of shitty, and I think people would start saying the fix is in. But I could easily see if the game gets officiated a little bit differently.
But if it's based on market, right? According to Rick Carlisle, it's all officiating based on markets. These are both small market teams, so there should be no impact, right?
Yeah, should be no impact, but
right.
If the call comes in, hey, let's extend this series here a little bit, and we start seeing parade to the line for Jamal
Jokic
Murray.
was the MVP. Let's let him win one game.
Let's let him win one game here before we kick him out of the.
The fix is already in, right? Murray should have been suspended for game 3.
Zero
doubt in my
100%.
mind.
I kind of agree. I think I was listening to the Zach Lowe post, and they were talking about that would have been a shitty thing to do to suspend him for that game, because essentially that game 3 is a series. You know what I mean?
That's so stupid. If it's a suspension at any point in the season, it's a suspension in the playoffs. I
should have been $150K too, not just 100. He did the money sign.
You threw 2 things. You made the money sign, dude. You didn't talk to the media. That all comes into play.
2 things on the court.
It should have. I agree. It should have been a suspension, but I can kind of see the argument of all right, do we do that? We're handing this to Minnesota, basically. You know what I mean? In another sense of let's let the players decide. So I'm okay with it, even though I think he should.
The player decided by being an idiot.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's the best way to put it. The player decided. He threw a freaking heat pad.
Yeah, he made a decision to throw shit at them.
Thank God nobody stepped on it, because I forget who the player was. KCP maybe, who was trying to grab it.
Yeah.
it was like, oh shit, I could see him like in his eyes. He's going, nobody step on this.
Have you guys seen a team this mad before? The last time I can remember a team being this mad was 2011 Western Conference semifinals, Lakers versus Mavericks. The Lakers were the defending champs the year before.
Oh yeah,
and the Mavericks in Game 4 swept them, Bynum elbows Berea on a layup, and he gets ejected from the game. But that was the last game. This is Game 2, and we still have at least 2 more games. I've never seen a team so upset so early like this. Yeah,
it was weird, man. Like I don't know if I don't remember a team just getting punked like this. Because that's honestly the only way I could put it.
Yeah.
Like they just got punked. And like you said, the way they were so mad, it made it look even worse. Because I was like, dude, what are you guys doing? Like at no point, like that one point when I texted you guys, where Jamal's in the trap and he's literally banging into guys trying to get a foul. And
he's throwing elbows up trying to get a foul call.
Begging for the whistle to say, like he's looking back at the ref. I'm watching it. And at first, second of that or half second of that, I'm going, all right, foul. And then when he keeps doing it, I'm like, dude, they're not calling a foul. Do something. Like,
also, do you watch? They're called Law and Order now.
Law and Order, I like that,
and Law. But they had their hands back. Like, maybe they're doing like a little, but they were playing.
They were playing defense.
Yes, like that's. I was happy with the no calls on that.
I know. I was happy with
the side.
Yeah,
but like I love seeing that. I hate when that gets called. I'm like this is defense. Let's see. This is great.
I mean, is this the reality of this being like the first tough series they've had to play? For Jamal, because like last season, their run wasn't that difficult.
No, it wasn't.
They did not beat a team. They did not beat a team that had 50 or more wins last season to win the thing.
And the year before that, Murray was out, right, with the knee injury.
Yeah.
So this is his first like actual taste of this in full bore.
Damn.
When
he's still kind of hurt, right?
I like Joey with the
come on one leg.
Nuggets championship is overrated.
I don't know, like no, that's
like
not.
This. Yeah. No, I know. Okay.
I know. I had this epiphany like in
You're
game
right,
one.
though. You're 100% right.
Watching Murray, I was talking with Richie, and I was like, man, I'm getting like Chris Middleton vibes, but like more flash, right? It's like a more flashy
Chris Middleton.
Ooh, that's good.
Like, that's really good.
The handles are a lot better. The downhill play is much better, but like the highs are really high, but the mid is just kind of low. Like they're never going to give you like 8 points, right? They're always going to get kind of their number,
15 or 20,
15 to 20 if they're having like a bad game. And you're like, oh, box score's not that bad, but you're like, well, we weren't that good though. And I was like, man, I'm getting like, and it was a 2-game sample or 1 game at that point. And I was like, man, I'm getting like weird, flashy, more athletic Chris Middleton vibes.
That's perfect.
That's
a perfect comp because Middleton, we always made fun of him. But he was the reason he hit some clutch shots for the Bucks to win the championship.
Yeah, which Middleton could do for you, right? Like he'll hit the clutch shot.
And now Murray's in those clutch shots, but that also doesn't show up. It's
like you have a star on your team, right? It's Giannis or Jokic. But then like I'm here and I might get you a game or two, but if I don't. Like if you don't have it and I don't have it, I'm absolutely useless to you.
And Middleton, has he been to 1 All-Star, maybe 2?
Something like that, right?
Jamal Murray hasn't, but it
hasn't been a lot. But he hasn't had a regular season that it's actually honestly
it's his fault. Yeah. When you look at it, it doesn't make any sense to actually.
I'm actually proud that you guys agreed with that. I thought you guys would be like, absolutely.
That was a brilliant take.
That was one of my favorite ones you've ever brought up.
Yeah, that needs to be clipped out. We TikTok, everything. Because you know what? Why? I haven't heard of that anywhere. I have not heard anybody say, "Hey, you know what this guy is? Fancy Middleton." Because it's 100%.
Fancy Middleton.
He's fancy mid.
Gourmet Middleton.
Gourmet mid.
Granted, he did have a 30-point triple-double.
Yep.
Last year.
I think
Chris Middleton had some crazy lines too the year before when they won.
Like the highs are super high. Like when they're on, you're like, holy shit, man, this guy's good.
Yeah. But then, like for some reason, there's like these. But why isn't he a perennial all-star? Why isn't he this? He shows up in these big moments, and you agree that makes he has those highlights. But there is these times you're like, yeah, but where is he the rest of the time? I think it's just Jokic. All right, well let's. Are we done there? I know
that was 20 minutes.
We all think Timberwolves are going to win this series. No one wants.
That's the most interesting one out of all of them right now.
Yeah. I think Minnesota's going to win this. I said, barring a complete reset in Game 3 from Denver, which I don't think is coming. I just don't see any way this team can.
My favorite thing with the Timberwolves is that the fact that they're still like the defending champs. Like they keep their heads down. They're not really cheering after Nas hit a 3. He wasn't really cheering after. They're just like all business still. So
yeah, oh my God, if we can quickly add 5 minutes to this conversation, one of the things that I think has really impressed me is the Ant. I mean, like Ant in particular, and I'm talking off the court. And then just this team in general, you can tell that they feel it. Like they feel and Ant, I think Ant is sort of setting the tone for the rest of the team. One, that they're good enough to win, and two, that they understand like the job's not done. Like there is no like mini celebration for these small accomplishments. They're like, yep, we just beat the champs two times in a row, but they're still the champs. Let's go. Like I think that video's been going around where he talks about Cat being fouling, and he needs to stop fouling, and about how he's a great offensive player and he's their most important piece. The way he can kind of build up the other guys on his team and make them understand how important they are is very Jordan-esque. I know he's getting the comparison to Jordan, but his attitude.
Is it better did Jordan ever compliment his players the way Ant does?
Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean,
he did, right? Like
when he was playing, he did. Yeah. Like to the media publicly, he did.
Yeah, you're right.
It wasn't as probably complimentary, but it was there. But Titus, you're spot on. Like the way that he's leading these guys through this, is
holding them accountable,
is remarkable for what it is, right? Like,
he's the reason they have the chance to win.
I mean, you look at the flip side of it, the whole thing, on the other side, right? Jokic should be leading that way. Instead, the question was, hey, your team let your emotions get the best of them. And his response was, I didn't. Some guys did. They need to be better. I was like, well, hey, man, it could have been as simple as, we got our asses kicked and, we got in our heads and we let them get the best of us. And, we're going to write, circle the wagons, get it figured out. But it just seems like,
this is where
the Jokic backlash is coming, man.
Well, it's where like having a guy that doesn't care about basketball, it becomes not cute when you don't win. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when you win, it's cute that he's like, okay, job's done. Okay, now I can leave. Like wins the parade. I don't want the parade. But then, like I think I texted you, Chris. That stare down from Gordon when Ant gets right by him, and Jokic is late on the rotation in the paint. And Gordon is just looking at him like, dude, where the fuck are you? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. You need to be here, and you need and Jokic didn't even look at him. He just walked to the bench.
Yeah.
And I could tell like Gordon was kind of talking to him. And that's the kind of shit where it's like, dude, you're the number one guy in this team. And Ant wouldn't do that. Ant would be like, all right, hey, my bad, man. I got to be better.
Tap your chest. My bad.
Yeah,
got it.
Yeah, I got it. Next one. And that's the difference with Minnesota right now is they're doing all that stuff 100% right. And they look like a team that
cares.
Cares and is poised, is very poised to win a title here. So, long way to go. But
the one thing I don't want to knock Jokic too much. The one thing that is kind of positive about it is that you never get too high, you never get too low, right? So you can bounce back from a performance like that and be like, all right, no, this is fine. Let's shake it off. Game 3, let's go.
Yeah, and that's what we're hoping to see. I mean, let's if they want to make this a series, that's what they need to do. So,
one thing I meant to try to have it in here, but one thing, did you guys hear about this? So Nas Reed's been the revelation, right? Second man of the year. So a guy up here in Minnesota is giving away free Nas Reed tattoos for $20, where you just get Nas Reed tattooed on your arm. So far, 55 people have done it.
You get one?
If you want to do it, you can. All you got to do is go to nasreedtattoos@gmail.com.
Like the link,
and then you can.
That's epic.
You can get a tattoo that just says Nas Reed. One guy who got it said he's got his 3 most important people tattooed on him now: his mom, his dad, and Nas Reed.
Sweet.
So
that's awesome.
Nas Reed tattoos.
I feel like you get your daughters on there, and then right underneath Nas Reed.
That's exactly. Yeah.
I think you should get that on your calf. You should win it.
A calf.
I never got a tattoo. I've always wanted to get a tattoo. I just never had anything I care to.
Hey, we should go when you're here for the 4th. You guys coming down, right? So we should all go. Titus, you want to do it? Let's go.
I don't want a Nas Reed tattoo, but
they win the whole thing, though. I mean, they win the whole.
If they win the whole thing, though, yeah.
Well, wait.
I'll
Chris
get
is getting Nas Reed. I'm gonna get a Bulls tattoo. Titus, you got to figure out something. You got to get.
I got a couple things figured out. I was gonna need to get basketball related. Okay, never mind then.
No, we're good. Box Out Boys. You can get the logo.
Shout out to the Timberwolves too. Speaking of awards, Nas Reed 6th Man of the Year, Rudy Gobert Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
Mike Conley. I have TOTY Teammate of the Year, and then Karl Anthony Towns SJCA Social Justice Cares Award. So shout out to the Timberwolves just racking up the awards.
Racking up the awards here. Just gotta get that Larry O'Brien on top of it. Wow. Well, do we want to touch on some other series here?
Why don't we just rip through them and give our predictions? Why don't we just give predictions?
Yeah, let's give our predictions.
Let's talk about.
Well, hold on. Let's give our predictions on. I think there's two kind of quick ones, and then we'll touch on the Knicks Pacers. Might be a little more fun. But Thunder Mavs, where are you guys at on this one? Thunder up 1-0. Mavs didn't look great in game one. Joey, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna say Thunder in 5.
Okay.
Mavs just look. I don't know. Again, it's the same thing I said during the Clipper series, and Luka turned it on for that one game, but he doesn't look right. Right, his knee is hurting him. It all hinges on him. The rest of the pieces are good. They're better than they've been, but it all hinges on Luka being aggressive and able to do it. And the Thunder is too fast. They're just too fast for him.
Chris? Yeah, Luka admitted to saying that he probably wouldn't be playing right now if it was the regular season. Right, so he's kind of playing through some pain right now. His
numbers looking soft, huh?
49% regular season, 40% this postseason, 38 from 3 in the regular season, 23 in the post. It was like in the last 4 games, he's shooting 13% off of at least 30 attempts. Like he's been bad. And there was also a thing that came out. I don't know if it's true or not. Just a random reporter on Twitter saying when Luka checks out of the game, there's a sigh of relief because now players can actually get the ball and play because it's just so much Luka ISO. I don't know how much truth is behind that, but it sounds like something that came like out of Phoenix after Phoenix was losing. They're like, well, nobody liked Frank Vogel anyways, and stuff like that. And Lakers are like, oh, Darvin Ham. Now they're just trying to maybe Luka's the scapegoat in this series. But Thunder in 5 feels good but despite all that, they still have Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, Kyrie's
really he's good for a game.
Gafford looked all right in game 1. Just check the stats again to really confirm that. But from the eyes.
Yeah, no,
I like what I was seeing a little bit, and then no, but he I thought could help like kind of keep Chet in check and like kind of body him up a little bit. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's older. I really thought Dallas could have this series, but that game was so crazy. Thunder defensive rating is 94, which is like high and above everybody else in the league, which is I guess the Pelicans and the Mavericks. So I don't know how much I want to look into it, but yeah, long way of me of saying Thunder in 5. It's
Thunder roll at 5.
Yeah.
I agree with you guys.
They're getting old boards. They're getting some old boards.
Old boards. I was waiting for it this week.
Old boards.
The old boards. We didn't even talk about it in Denver. Ripping it down. Well, Celtics Cavs is now 1-1. Hashtag no game talk.
Game's
Cavs
over.
won 118-94.
It's over.
Game's over. Is this so? All right. I didn't really watch a lot of this game. Obviously, I was prepping for the show and stuff like that. Is this just the Celtics MO here? Blowout game 1, decide they don't really give a shit in game 2, and then kind of finish this up, or is there something else here? Chris, what are you thinking?
I want to believe that there's something else here. This is the first game Evan Mobley got over 20 points. He finished with 21 for the first time this postseason and like in the last like 20 games. I think
Kevin's great.
So he's finally, if he can score on offense a little bit. The problem is within game 1, he looked smaller than Luke Cornett. Luke Cornett looked like he could actually hold his own and kind of take those Porzingis minutes while Horford takes the other part.
Porzingis.
So with all that being said, I don't like watching Cleveland play. I hate Donovan. I don't like Donovan Mitchell just forcing shots. You were mentioning in the last one how Anthony Edwards doesn't really seem to force anything. Donnie forces like 10 shots a game, and 6 of them go in, right? And then Garland's been a shell of himself. I don't know what's going on here. Strus has been fine. I just wanted to say Strus because it's fun that he's still a name. Gabe kind of fell off. But
is still getting
Georgie Yang is cool too. The Celtics, there's a lot I want to talk about them maybe another time, but I agree they should probably just maybe we'll go 6. I think it'll go 5. I think it's done. They were 14.5-point favorites tonight and they lost by 24. That's crazy. Like
it happens.
But I still think the Celtics will just win the next 3.
Joey, same feeling?
Yeah. Just one thing on Max Strus. I can't stand watching him run. He's like the ugliest runner of all time. It's fucking horrible. It's horrendous. But no, I think this is the Jason Tatum MVP butthurt game. Just saying, like, Jalen Brunson got more votes for MVP.
It feels okay,
right? It does feel okay, but it just kind of played into everything we talked about all year. Like, this guy just has been floating in the ether of kind of like, you're good, are you not good? Are you top tier, mid tier? Like where are you?
He's like a Paul Pierce. That's what he like.
Wow,
he doesn't have to be LeBron.
That's a great comparison.
Guy. It's a good Celtics.
But that's what he is. Like,
he's like
he's a good player.
Superstar.
Yeah, but you just need somebody else to really step up. Derek White honestly might become that guy because Derek White.
He looks great.
He won 1 for 8 tonight, but that guy.
1 for 8. Okay,
he got 38 games. He got 38 points against Miami in the game before the closeout in Game 4. So they just have so many weapons. That's the thing with Jaylen Brown, Payton Pritchard off the bench. Anyways,
but if they're missing shots, it doesn't look great. So
it just seems like they're toying with teams, for a game here and there. And
let's
Celtics
step up here, guys.
No, step down.
Step down is right. You guys don't like them. Right. Yeah, they're not going to be able to match up against the Thunder.
What's to like? All of Titus's teams are crumbling here.
Wow, you're hurting me. Don't hurt my feelings.
Nuggets are throwing things. Celtics are toying with.
I like them. Yeah, I know. I didn't even get to see the Kings play. All right, Knicks, Pacers, 2-0. Knicks lead right now. Can the Knicks hang on to this? I mean, they're falling apart at the seams. I think Brunson's a maybe for the next game. OG's out for sure for Game 3. Joey, your thoughts on this series? Can the Pacers kind of wrestle it back? They've kind of had control in the first 2 games, but just gave it up. What do you think?
Is Jalen Brunson the hardest defensive assignment remaining in the playoffs right now?
I want to say no, but no name comes.
What's another way to say it? Like the best offensive weapon?
No, like it's weird. Like on most teams, you would look at Brunson and be like, this guy takes a lot of shots and he takes a lot of weird shots and he dominates the shot clock, right? Like he does. He takes up probably 16, 17 seconds of every shot clock with the ball in his hands. But you throw a double team at him, you force him into the paint. It just feels like the way that he scores is just like a shot never looks bad for him. And like, because he's smaller, right, you throw a double team at him. So like you have to throw somebody with some size because he has to, like if you throw TJ McConnell like they did last night, right, he was kind of doing okay. But then they put Nembhard on him and he was, ripping him apart. And he was just getting to the hoops. And you put somebody taller on him, but he's faster than them, but he's comfortable hitting like a floater in the lane. It's kind of like I'm gonna get another comparison. It's kind of like, again, it's like more scoring oriented, like Rajon Rondo, right? Like this guy is like a really good point guard. He has to be.
He's
like,
complex.
He's perfectly comfortable running the point, but if you're gonna let him score, he's extremely difficult to force him into something that like doesn't work. And if you do, he's perfectly fine again passing it out to DiVincenzo to hit a 3, and then if he misses, they're crashing the boards with Hartenstein and Josh Hart, who's just been an absolute monster, and then they're getting another possession out of it. So like, it just seems like it's this weird smaller guy that just like is kind of causing havoc, and it's almost because of the way that he scores and the way that he is, not because he's like the most offensive talented guy.
Yeah,
the way he contorts his body is really nice. I think that's what you're kind of saying too, right?
Yeah, like it's just
he can put himself in situations where you can play off of him. Boom,
he is a shoulder,
get an and one.
What do you throw at him to slow him down? Nothing seems to have worked so far.
You can only hope to contain him.
Okay. He's the one of the guys.
McConnell's perfect. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
McConnell's the perfect guy to cover him. Like the scrappy little guy. He looks like a coach on the court. All the other right things you want to say about TJ McConnell. Glue guy.
Sneaky athletic.
Yeah, he is very sneaky athletic. He's the perfect. He's like the Dellavedova, another Australian, the Australian white guy who's still tearing it up in the Australian league. But McConnell's perfect to guard Brunson, and you're still seeing Brunson just tear him up. But I think the point is like he's kind of like Durant. You can't guard these guys. You can only hope to like
Yeah, slow him down.
Contain a little bit.
He's one of those guys. You know me as a short guard. I am not a fan of short guards. Other short guards, I know their limitations.
Threatened by him.
I'm threatened by him. I'm like, yeah, you guys can't do it. If I could do it, you could do it. No, I'm curious if when he goes up against like a Derek White, a Drew Holiday, a Jaden McDaniels, or a Dortcher Chamber, if that kind of slows him down. That's what I'm wondering if the teams.
Well, the Celtics would be perfect. The Celtics, like Derek White, like you're saying, Derek White, that's the perfect.
He's got size and can kind of defend. I just think he hasn't seen a really good matchup yet.
That's fair.
We'll see what happens. I mean, the guy's playing out of his head. There's really nothing you can say about that. But.
Do you think the Pacers can still win this series? What's your kind of prediction on this one?
I don't like. It just seems like it's 2 games in a row where they've had pretty decent leads, right? And I joked last night after Chris abandoned us for our Wednesday night show. I was like, "Oh, it's cool. It's fine. I got plenty of time to go."
For Snapchat.
I got it. Yeah, for Snapchat. Who uses Snapchat?
Yeah, get another round. I'm just gonna tell you guys.
We all use Snapchat. They're fantastic social media apps.
We use it all the time.
We love it. All the time. That's right.
We actually do use.
We use it. It's the only way I can share pictures of my lawn.
Yes.
But I was like, no, it's cool. I got plenty of time to go watch the Pacers choke away another lead, and they did exactly that. Like,
yeah,
it just seems. I don't know. I feel like they're actually missing like a Buddy Hield type player right now. Like they traded him away.
Yeah,
like, it feels like they need some actual competent 3-point shooting. Like Pascal was good in the first round. It was like, oh hey, Pascal Siakam's pretty good again. Like this is the piece they needed. And then you've got like
Benedict Mathurin be that guy? He's out.
Maybe, but the rotations, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. Like Halliburton had a really good game, but Halliburton, like the first half of the season for him was really good, right? And we were all like, "Oh man, this guy's fantastic." Then he got hurt a little bit, and the shine kind of wore off, and the numbers kind of came back down to earth. Like he's still really good, but he doesn't scare me as like a take over the game guy. He's like kind of I'm going to get my points through the flow of normalness guy.
He's a Steve Nash guy, right?
Ooh,
a facilitator.
I mean, he can score though. Like he's not afraid to score. But like I was thinking more of like they don't have like a dominant guy where the Knicks have a dude. Like Brunson is the dude.
Go get us a bucket.
And Miles Turner looks like he's just kind of trying too hard. So I don't know. The Pacers don't.
Miles Turner annoys the hell out of me. That guy should be perennial all-star. Like he's got all the talent, all the size, and he just always underwhelms. I'll see an awesome dunk with him in the game, but then I'll see he went 3 of 11. It's like what's going on with Miles, man?
Way. Yeah, I don't know. I think Knicks got it.
Chris,
I'll say this is the one series where if I'm a Knicks fan, I'm a little nervous.
I think so
because it's going back to the Pacers. The spread tomorrow is -7.5 for Indy, which is a little telling.
That's right.
I think this could go 2-2 back to New York.
Yeah, I think so.
I think this goes 7, and I think it's in the 7th game, Indiana can maybe take it. Like where Orlando almost did that.
Yeah,
against Cleveland. It felt like they were going to that first set, but they did. But anyways, I think Indy could still take this. I don't know. I think it's a closer series than it's looking. But the defense, to Joey's point, with like how they can't seem to hold a lead.
Yeah,
is tough. I hope New York kind of wins this because I'd rather have them play Boston. Cleveland, Indiana. I don't know if anyone's really hoping for that kind of final.
Please don't do that to us.
NBA's worst for that.
Yeah. So,
I mean, if you're a Timberwolves fan, you are, right?
Yeah, you're like, or OKC fan, you're just like,
yeah, bring it on. No, bring it on. We want the best. Give us the best.
We don't want some cheap Denver title that everybody questions the next year.
Right? No, we're going hard.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Prove me wrong.
I love it. I'm kind of with you, Chris. I think this goes 7, just because this is just gonna go 7. This just feels like it's gonna go 7, and I could see the Pacers winning it. If only because the Knicks are just going to run out of bodies, man.
Dude, Thibs kills.
Thibs is doing it again. He's at it again,
man.
He doesn't care. He'll just play another dude 45 minutes. It doesn't matter. He's going
to run out of guys. He's going to run out of bodies. He's going to play 5 guys.
We're going to see Miles McBride play 30 minutes.
Taj Gibson's coming back. It's all good.
It's brutal, man. That's the only reason.
Taj Gibson's not on this team, is he?
I don't know. He probably is.
He's on he made a team this year.
I'm pretty sure he was on a team.
On some contract. All right. Well, it's a good second round. We're excited for the rest of it.
He's on the Pistons. Taj Gibson is on the Pistons.
He went to the Pistons.
Jesus.
Well, he was
retired.
On the Pistons.
What are you doing? Coaching up.
He's cashing them checks.
James Wiseman.
Yeah, right. Cashing checks.
Yeah.
All right. You boys ready for my completely random top 5?
Yes.
All right. So I'm just going to let the podcast listeners know this is a very visual top 5. And if you are listening to the podcast, just go ahead and you can end the episode now. It was a great episode. Until next time.
Catch us on YouTube. Search Box Out Boys. And then you'll find us on YouTube. We're like the first search, at least in my algorithm.
Yep.
It might be a little biased, but anyways.
Okay, so I think I got this set so I can pop these up here.
Dang, so many visuals.
It's gonna be
2 weeks in a row.
Visuals. So you guys probably don't know this, but me and my brother have been pretty big into birding lately.
Birding?
Birding.
This is watching?
Bird watching, yes. Bird watching here. Let's see. We're gonna do a little demo here.
That's you can see
Kirby. Here. This is a Oriole, a Baltimore Oriole I saw the other day.
On my bike. It's yellow.
No, it's an orange. It's an orange.
It's an orange. The lighting is weird.
Can I try and guess the birds as you put them up here?
Well, this is a Baltimore Oriole. The rest of the way you'll be able to see what's going on. So, in the spirit of this, I've been obviously paying attention to birds. And this is going to be my top 5 NBA players as birds. Not my top 5 NBA players, but like my top 5 NBA player bird comparisons. So
Birdman.
Well, let's go ahead and start with the guy that actually got this started. I'm going to pull it up here. This is Ja Morant as a cormorant.
That's a good one.
So I was on my kayak. I saw a cormorant as what I thought it was called, but it's a cormorant flying by, and I said, cormorant, Ja Morant. That's kind of weird. They even kind of look like each other. As you can see, they got the orange highlights,
a good picture
the blue. They're both like lean, high flying.
That's a unique looking cormorant, Titus.
I did find a Google picture that looked quite like what I needed.
As I said, that's not what most cormorants look like, but I appreciate the choice.
Yeah. But
less colorful in the beak.
That was kind of how it all started.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump around here. I'm actually gonna show because Joey kind of brought him up. I did have an honorable mention because he's not currently in the league. Birdman. Obviously had to include him as the cockatoo. Birdman is a cockatoo, so that's great. The second player that made my list.
This is amazing.
I hope you guys love this.
Was not expecting this.
I did not.
I never would have guessed this.
This makes me so happy.
Didn't know you were into bird watching either.
Jalen Brunson as a rock hopper penguin. His hair and his braids look just like it. And also, I feel like he kind of hops around like a penguin when he's kind of backing.
And he's short like a penguin.
He's short like a penguin.
He's kind of waddles. Stocky.
Yep. I saw him and I was like, look at this guy. So, I mean, look, that's beautiful, guys. You can't fight that one.
No.
So
no argument.
Jalen Brunson is a rock hopper penguin. I got some more here. You got this one's. I mean, I feel like this is a low hanging fruit, but I'm going to do it anyway. Derek White as the bald eagle.
Bald eagle. That's
majestic strikes from distance. I thought, Derek White's a 3-point shooter. Eagles are attacking from way up. I thought they're here just holding that majestic pose. Obviously, the bald heads. So that's there. Derek White.
America.
Number 4, I have Kevin Durant as a flamingo.
Those legs,
the long legs, the extension here, the gooseneck. I thought that was a solid.
You just described him as a gooseneck.
The gooseneck, release there.
It's kind of funny that you're looking at a flamingo and then describing.
Oh yeah, true.
Gooseneck. Could just call it the flamingo neck, but yeah, gotcha.
The flamingo neck. It's really the legs. Let's be honest. It's all
legs.
Oh, it's fantastic.
He's so long. Yeah.
So that was that, and then I will end on this one, which Michelle, my wife, thought was the best one.
My wife.
This is Anthony Davis as the blue-gray nut catcher. So obviously you can see the little unibrow on him. The cute little. I actually saw one of these in my backyard the other day. Just couldn't get a picture of it. So
the blue-gray nut catcher.
The blue-gray gnat catcher. Sorry, gnat catcher.
Oh, you said nut catcher.
No, I said it wrong. Yeah, it's.
I've never heard of the blue-gray catcher.
Yeah.
Either way,
that's
perfect.
Perfect little guy. So
not gonna lie, I think my favorite is the Ja Morant cormorant.
That was a
John
good
Morant,
one.
Cormorant. We can
Because the name is perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one that like started it off for me. Like I said, I saw the Cormorant like flying by me, and I was like, "Huh, John Morant, Cormorant? That's weird. Can I come up with a couple more?"
I think the
Muscovy
picture though with
up
the
there?
Brunson one was perfect.
I think that was my best picture. I think that was
the penguin. Just
I was
oh
like,
my god,
just like the
that's so
looks.
good.
They're like, yeah. I'm about to back you out in the paint.
It's glorious.
So, thank you guys for indulging me in that.
No, that's
That
fantastic.
was a lot of fun. Any thoughts on that?
That made me so happy.
I'm really into birds. So
That's cool.
We've
I
had some
can't believe
good
you haven't
comps
showed it.
tonight. Good job, team.
Yeah, good job, team, with the comps with the Middleton. And,
Should we call this the comp episode? Like,
comp
hey,
episode, yeah. Bird comps and player comps.
the children of the comps.
Children of the comps. Oh, wild show tonight, guys. Well, I'm going to go recover from this Boston loss.
Lick his wounds.
You'll be all right. You'll live.
I'll be all right. I'm sure it'll be fine. That's what's kind of annoying about it. And we'll be back next week to see what happens. Maybe we have some conference finals matchups or a team or two in the finals. Conference finals. We'll see.
Oh,
could the Thunder and Timberwolves be over?
I think that it could possibly be over.
Oh, Thunder they won't be over. Or no, they could
they
be
win.
over.
If they win tonight, yeah.
that'll be so
sweep.
fun if those two teams get there and all the nonsense about they're too young. It just goes out the window.
Hey man, the young guys are gone.
At some point, they got to win. So
I hate that argument. Doesn't matter. Dudes are dudes.
It's weird. It matters until it doesn't matter. I kind of like it matters until all of a sudden it's like,
well,
oh yeah,
that was
they're
the
big
thing.
enough.
Like, wasn't it
It's
like
like the
8 years
easy-
ago at this point with the Thunder? Like, they can't beat the Spurs. They're too young.
Yeah. They beat the
rocked them.
Spurs.
It's like it was the easy argument. It was like, well, they're just young. It's like, well, maybe not. Like
Maybe not.
Yeah,
maybe it's not age.
All the signs were pointing to they were the best.
it's old boards. It's gonna be old boards.
It's old boards.
It's gonna be their downfall is gonna be the old boards.
The old boards. And the downfall for us tonight is the end of the episode.
The downfall of us
Go
all.
watch this Mavs. What's the score?
Yep.
Should we game talk? What's the
Game talk a little bit here.
1915 early on.
Oh, Mavs are up. All right.
Oh, all right. Here we go. Thunder. Come on. Well, that is it for us tonight. Follow us on social media at the Box Out Boys. Slide in those DMs. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on YouTube and Spotify. We very much appreciate that. Let me know if you have any other birds that look like players. I would really just love to add them to my list. It's a lot of fun for me.
Post that Instagram.
Pokédex.
Yeah,
the
Pokédex.
Boys.
And send them to the Box Out Boys. We very much appreciate that. So until next time, for Joey and Chris, I'm Titus. Box out. Oh, hold on. I was not ready to play the music.
Do it again. Yeah, do it again.
Box out.